What's up, Fox10 Fox here, and welcome to Quake 3, and to a new series called Has It Aged Like a Fine Wine or Has It Died? And I already have an assumption on this game, considering how difficult this game was to set up and play. And I can't even look at this. Look at this. All right, what I have to do, right, is go back, go to multiplayer, and hope it changes. And we're gonna... I don't even want to sort by game type. I want to go by like player spots. There's a lot of bots in these servers, and I have Punk Buster enabled too. You know what? Let me disable it. Okay. Yes. And see if that helps at all with our chances. See, like, how do I... The only way I know how to do it is exit. Alright. Yeah, like, I can't go up. That's so weird. Adults +2. Retro seems decent. I don't want to do 1v1s, but Retro seems decent. Alright, Retro FFA, do not let me down. Retro was a decent server, one of the only decent servers. I don't even know if you could see it, but there's like Fat Booty Bitches, one of the server titles, so you just know that that's like scam. I'm very thankful of a VPN, but if people just wanted to get into this game, there's a good chance that they could fucking get a virus like plugged into their computer or something, or their IP address leaked. And that's fucked. Like, this game is almost ransomware at this point. But with that said, I'm not just gonna straight up judge it on that, because I'm sure that there are better communities out there to play Quake, like Quake Live and everything. So I just want to see if the gameplay holds up. Because I know that there are a whole lot of community-made versions of Quake that are a lot better, but I did not want to go through the hassle. This is on Game Pass for free, and admittedly, this is probably one of the worst versions of Quake you can play. Alright, let's do this. People were trying to vote skip a map, and I accidentally said no, just because I didn't know what buttons it was, because there were no indicators. So here's the thing, right? Some games we call labors of love. Games that have been, like, think like Wizard 101, World of Warcraft, games that came out long time ago and got maybe graphical updates, but that's not the main concern. This game, if you didn't want to graphically update it, I don't know if that would turn people away as much as it would, especially if it was free, which it's not, by the way. This game on Steam still costs quite a bit of money. And there are open source alternatives and everything like that, and community-made versions that I'm sure are 100 times better and actually have, what's it called? 21:9 mode. But I just want to see, like, again, this is kind of like the easiest point of entryway for a new player is, oh, Quake's on Game Pass. I heard a lot about Quake when I was younger. I'm pretty sure that this has some sort of correlation to... Although this is Bethesda, so it's not Unreal. Unreal Tournament is really like the classic, and I'll be doing a video on that at some point in the future, but it do be still costing money. But there are definitely open source options for this. But again, it's 400 megabytes, and I saw it on Game Pass, and I want to play it. And that's, like, I feel like how most players who are going to be playing Quake for the first time are going to be playing this, is by scrolling through Game Pass and seeing it. So we're going to see just what the raw experience of a quote-unquote good version of Quake is. And I'm not going to let my copious amounts of deaths sway my judgment here, because I know I walked into this knowing that I was going to be bad. So that's not really a factor, because this is my first time playing Quake 3. I just wanted to see, like, is the gameplay still fun? Are the levels addictive? Like, again, talking about labors of love, the first thing that comes to mind is, like, Master Chief Collection, Gears of War being updated for 4K 60 FPS. It's games that have not become ransomware. Like, CS 1.6 has pretty much become straight up ransomware. It's only the community that does anything with it. Valve has completely given up on it, and the servers you walk into are absolutely disgusting. And you have to sift around and find the quote-unquote good ones. Hey, my first kill. And that's not great, because CS 1.6 is a revolutionary game. And in my opinion, there should at least be some official servers. You don't have to remaster it, you don't have to do anything like that. Just keep some official servers live for people who want to have a taste of history available. And that's like Halo Combat Evolved. Like, I can go back right now on Master Chief Collection and play what is admittedly the best version of Halo CE. 60 FPS all the way up to ultra wide resolutions beyond 4K. And not have any issues. Yet this game is stuck with black boxes on the side of my ultra-wide monitor because the maximum resolution... This isn't even max res, by the way. 99.9% of resolutions are going to be in square mode, so like 4:3. And granted, this game is old, but so is Halo. And yet, even... Well, again, MCC updated it, and I feel like you don't have to update these games. Just update them. You don't have to make a new version of these games. You should just update them. With that said, I can see where the appeal is in a game like this. I can see the combat loop. In a 2022 perspective, anybody who plays this game is going to turn away almost immediately unless they are very dedicated to play Quake. Somebody on this subreddit was like, I want to get into Quake, how do I do it? And people are like, just do it ASAP, because everybody who's on this game is 4 years old and won't be living forever. Because, I mean, that's the truth. This game has no merit to it aside from, like, nostalgia factor. For people who grew up with this game. There's not even, like, bot support, I don't think. Maybe there is. That could be a lie. I could truthfully be wrong about that. So don't quote me on that. But even still, it's like, oh, I want to play on my new monitor. Oh, there's only one resolution, and it's like 800 by 4 something, and it's the only 16 by 9 resolution in the game. And the server selector is awful. The server selection is awful. And yet, all of that is just a gigantic barrier to any new players or returning players to Quake. And that's kind of what this series is all about. Maybe you're a fan of Quake, and you're like, maybe I should go back to it and see what it's like to go back and play Quake 3 in, 2022, because it was my childhood. I'm going to tell you right now, there are probably 100 better options if you have any games from your childhood. Immensely better caps, like Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, it's a little bit too expensive considering it's old, 1 and 2, but Epic Games has ultra-wide support and everything for those games now. And I mean, that game came out in 2001 too, I think, or maybe 2002. And Quake 2 got RTX and everything like that, so I'll probably play Quake 2 as well, but I feel like Quake 3 was sort of the quintessential Quake game that everybody played, and I could be wrong about that. Maybe Quake 2 was. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a Quake 2 video and see if that one actually holds up better than this one, because I know that they did do the RTX update, and hopefully there will be 21:9 support for that. But generally speaking, I think that this game is a little bit dead in the water. It is in dire need of some developer support, which you're not going to get because of how old this game is. Bethesda can barely care about their new games. I mean, look at Fallout 76, yet Quake is sitting here. I don't even know how old it is. I can guarantee you it was before I was born. And there's still an active community on subreddit and everything. It's not a big community by any stretch of the imagination. I think any community, though, that is in the thousands, like, it definitely has more than, like, 100 players still interested. Just throw them a bone. You don't have to go above and beyond and update the graphics or anything. Just have playable servers that aren't community run and bring some quality of life to it. And by that I mean just allow for modern day resolutions and everything like that to be able to run it. Because I understand that like foresight isn't 2020. I don't know if in this time frame 16:9 televisions were even considered to be a thing. So I can forgive that, but still it should have been updated. Just as like you want to go back and celebrate, like maybe Quake has an anniversary day or something that people get on and play it, because it was a childhood game and everything, and yet it's kind of just left to rot. And I will say that this avocado has been out in the open air for way too long, because this game I will consider dead. I think that it has been killed. I think that there is absolutely still a community around it. I think the community has been shafted. And I absolutely want to give any and all respect to the people who made the fan-made versions that have 21:9 support and everything like that. This video is not saying it's a dead game. because there's obviously still players. This version of this game, the actual Bethesda version of this game, is dead in the water. And no matter what, that is the game that anybody who is interested in Quake is going to pick up first time round. And then they may like it enough, they may like the gameplay enough. I personally think that in 2022 there are games who have this arena style shooter that do it better. But if you ever want to go back, if somebody wants to go back to the classics, I just hope that if you are somebody who's my age or younger, looks at this game and maybe wants to give it a try, just look at community fan stuff instead. There's, I forgot what it was called, I think it's called Quake Live, and again, 21x9 support, huge community around it, and I'm probably gonna, if this video does well, drop a like and comment, and let me know if you want to see Quake live gameplay, because I'd be happy to try that out for y'all and see a more professional, sophisticated game than the one that is unfortunately given to new players on Game Pass and otherwise. Oh my lord. I am not good at this game, but again, I am terrible at PUBG, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of my most played games on Steam, and I average less than a kill a match. I average way less than a kill a match, and yet the gameplay loop is very fun, and I can see this. There's a reason there are a bunch of games that imitated the style in early, like late 6th gen, early 7th gen consoles and everything, because it is a fantastic, I mean, I can absolutely see like where Halo got inspiration from this for, because it's a fast-paced arena shooter with a sandbox. I mean, I can absolutely see how this revolutionized the game, and you gotta put, what the fuck just happened? You gotta put respect on its name, but unfortunately Bethesda has not. Because this game could be like a museum piece that could be held. I mean, isn't that sick? If they actually supported this game and they held it with pride and said, you know, we understand there's a community around this, then maybe there was not. Like, maybe, you know, like just once a year, Fallout's Twitter, everything like that, whenever this anniversary happens, it's like, go back and play the Quake games. We'll release them for free. They're updated to fit modern hardware, and just get a peek back into what like the revolutionary FPS was. And that's something that's just being lost to time, unfortunately. And this game is not the only one, trust me. There are so many games who've been left to rot, and it's just such a sad thing. But this game is super fucking dead on the water at this point. So definitely download a community. What the fuck? I just bonked my head. Who am I? Was in the wrong place. Yeah, I'm not going to give my information away to these servers. Thank you very much. Skunky? Okay. You got me. You got me. I don't get why there's so many spectators. This game is so confusing. Was railed by Skunky. That's funny. That's funny. But what's crazy, right? Is like even Doom. You can get a pretty solid Doom port even on Steam. Probably Doom 64 for playability's sake, because Doom on Steam also isn't fantastic, but you can also do fan-made stuff, and that's how I played it, because the fan-made stuff is way better and it's all open source. But old Doom still, it has a fantastic combat loop, and I played through it last year or 2 years ago, something like that. I liked it, and considering how bad it looked, it's like graphics are not really an issue for most people, I'd argue. Yeah, should a AAA game just aiming for realism be realistic? Sure, but I don't know if it's the most important thing. But this game, as Bethesda has left it, is dead in the water. The community saves it, but that is not what I'm here to do today. If you want to see me do Quake Live, like, subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know you want to see Quake Live. But Bethesda's version of Quake 3 has died. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, like, subscribe, do what you usually do, and as always, buy yourself something nice.
I bet you okay.
Map screen select, assault rifles, but also my HUD and everything is like also exactly as it would have been back. Activate the security. Who knows how long? Now that Warthog is cool and all. This Warthog is my favorite Warthog.
Continue.
I'm counting. Need to activate a security.
Just because it's